I'm not gonna lie, his documentary kind of like sparked like a different like energy in me.
Yeah.
Like it was a good and a bad thing for me because it's like, damn, like I think it's time for me to be a little more outspoken, you know, with this gift. But then it's also like, damn, like that's gonna piss some people off because just me believing in myself, people think I'm cocky.
Ain't had too many options, we just did what we could. You know we came from the bottom, always knew that we would. Every day we keep grinding, I won't ever stop trying. Told my mama stop crying, I'll make sure that we good.
Welcome back to another episode of Inspired by You podcast. Today I'm joined by musician, photographer, and the creative mind behind Dream Story Films, Tre Marquise. So Dream Story Films prides itself on being able to bring stories to life. So with that being said, what's your story? Like, when did you get your first camera? Like, how'd you get started in this field?
Well, first off, thank you for having me. So to answer your question, I would say, people don't know, but like back in 2014, I bought my first camera. I shot for like maybe a summer, and then I just gave it up. And then I think I picked it back up October 2020. That's when I quit my job. And I've been doing it since. So I started with like I think it was like a Sony something, but like it was trash, right?
Yeah.
But it was like I still was able to get like good images out of it. But I knew that I was going to be directing because we were working on a kind of like a short YouTube series, 2020 summer, and my boy Jimmy Ball, he just up and left, moved to Atlanta. So I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to do it myself, and like, you know, really didn't have the education, you know what I'm saying, the knowledge, the experience. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started and where I am now. So.
Okay, and what happened between 2014 and 2020 that made you like kind of stop and then pick it back up again? Like,
a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, a lot of failures that became lessons. It was crazy. Last year I had like $10,000 worth of gear stolen from me.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was fortunate enough to like people donated like maybe half of that back. So shout out to them. But at the same time, it's like, you know, those trials were, you know, getting gigs that I wasn't necessarily trained for. I could do the work, but on the business side, I wasn't, you know, managing myself well. So going through that, you know, even on an artistry level, you know, just wanting to get better every day. I told myself in 2021, when I got a newer camera, I was like, I need to touch this camera like 30 minutes a day, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like, you know, just sticking to it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really it.
No, definitely. What I've been starting to ask more people this just because I'm curious, like how it like plays into what they end up being now. Like, what'd you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to be a writer. In fourth grade, I was at Jefferson, and I remember just like writing notes to everybody, like even my homies, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just trying to be like, you know, like artistic and try to make it rhyme, or you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've always been in like, you know, I wanted to like write books, you know, like magazines, like just writing period, just storytelling basically. So.
Interesting. I think too, like people who end up being like in some sort of like creative career, like videography or marketing and things like that, we're always like super creative when we were kids.
Yeah,
like,
facts.
Most definitely.
We see the world differently.
Yeah. But I do feel like there's a creative piece in like everybody though. Like I definitely feel like everybody could be like a creative person or like a creator as well.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you said you wanted to be a writer. Well, like last month you were able to like premiere a film that you wrote, directed, and produced, Coffee and Cream. It premiered with the Sold Out show, and it has, you know, over 500 views on YouTube within like the first week. How does that, I guess, feel to see like, you know, I guess young you now is able to like, you know, be like, dang, like, this is what I wanted to do, like.
So the one thing I've been like telling people is like, God will leave clues, you know, throughout your life. One of them was like, every time I would try to like quit being a creative, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would go through something and like, it would draw me back to it because I would want to write, I would want to, you know, create music, you know, do photography, you know, something like that. But Man, I don't know. Like I said, you know, like he leaves clues. You know what I'm saying? Just to answer that first part.
What, I guess, was there anything that inspired you to start like making films specifically? For like, I mean, it was a short film, but like, is there anything that like kind of was pivotal in that like switch? Because did you start on photography?
No, I started with photography. Yeah.
Okay. And then like, you know, like that's obviously like photography has its own like, I don't know, like its own style to it that's a lot different than videography. And so like what made you, I guess, switch from that to short films or films and just kind of helping people tell their story?
So I started with photography because it was like I could probably make some money off this real quick.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do video though, you know what I'm saying? So, but like photography helped me with like just framing up, you know what I'm saying? Composition, you know, stuff like that. But I would say like the difference between the two for me personally is like, you know, photography, like it's a still image, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what story are you telling with that? But what was that other part of that question? Because I really got an answer for this for real.
Damn, I think I came up with that one off the top of my head.
Dang, my bad.
I guess was there any like pivotal moment that kind of
Yeah. So the pivotal moment was when I got hired, or they asked me to like come shoot for the school system, and I was like, ooh, wait, I don't think I'm ready for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of just made me just jump in the deep end with that.
Okay, that's a big deal.
No, yeah, like, for sure,
man. So storytelling. With that being said, storytelling is a gift that not everybody can do. What is the importance of like that skill set for any brand?
You got to be able to be obsessed with like getting to know people, because like me and you might have a conversation long enough to where you might like, how my brain work, I can like come up with a character based off like, you know, like what people are telling me, and just hearing your story and just creating a story like within that. Yeah, that's it.
Nah, I felt that though, because like as a, you know, in podcasting, especially like when I'm interviewing people, like I'm sort of trying to put the pieces together to help them like tell their story. So no, I definitely felt that. You've been a strong advocate for men's mental health. Like, how do you think that we create a shift and open up the conversation more so men feel comfortable talking about their mental health?
Good question. I think that one, us as men, we have to learn how to be honest with ourselves before we can go talk to somebody else about it, or even have a safe space for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know myself, like I had to create my safe space with the friend group that I have, and we all just so open about everything. You know what I'm saying? Vulnerable, you know, just everything. But man, like I said, I think it starts with self before we can even get to that. You know what I'm saying? No,
definitely. How do you, I guess, besides like, you know, within your friend group, how do you prioritize your own mental health while working? Because, you know, videography and photography and filmmaking is a very demanding career.
Yeah.
But while also, you know, maintaining personal responsibilities like being a dad.
To be honest, I'm still learning. It's days where like really the last like 2-3 months, I've been on like 2-3 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? I know most people are, you know what I'm saying? But just for me, it's like this dream don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter, you know, what gets in the way of that. So I'm still learning, just like, you know, probably everybody is. And once I get it down to a science, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give that back, you know what I'm saying, to, really anybody.
You're a man of many talents. You're a singer. You also play piano. You can roller skate. How has your journey in music impacted how you create overall?
So when it comes to the creative side, when it comes to music, when it comes to like production, because I make my own beats as well. It's more of like a atmosphere, like when you listen to the music. But that also, how that ties into film is like, I used to like hear, you know, certain things first before I would write, you know what I'm saying? And that would just be based off that. But it's more of like a cinematic like score, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're watching a romance flick, you got the soft strings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So that's really kind of how that translated, you know, within that.
That probably translates well in your films too, because a lot of times if you watch a film without like the background music or like the music playing, it'll give you a totally different emotion than, you know, when
and sometimes you don't know what you're watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people this all the time, like imagine watching Jaws or watching something scary and then like the Pokemon theme song come on. You know what I'm saying? Like it just don't match.
It probably make you laugh.
Yeah, you know, it's like now Jaws is a comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
or even like I love true crime, and like even like the way they set the tone, like part of it is music, part of it is like the ambiance of it. Like, you know, it's like dark and they be like, it was a cold day when so and so's body was found. Like even the voices, like, you know, like everything has to be like perfect to a T, and music is also like that. And so that's super cool.
Yeah, because I know, like, my bad.
No, you good.
I know, like, back in the day, like, you know, like, they would have movies where, like, there would be, like, no, like, dialogue. It would just be music, and you would still be able to follow the story. You know what I'm saying? So that's hard to do, you know what I'm saying? So.
Dang, you should make a film like that. Just no dialogue, just like a short film with just, like, nobody talking. That'd be hard, though.
You're going to be the reason why I get 1 hour of sleep now, like.
So another thing I noticed with a lot of your, like, the videos that you come up with, or, you know, even in the short film that you recently produced, like, you create some, like, you come up with some really creative, like, shot selections. What's your process like for finding, like, the most perfect shot?
Oof. So me and my brother, we sit down and, like, I think we did pre-production 2 or 3 months before we actually shot Coffee and Cream. So what I did was, what people don't know is all of those locations was in one house. So just based off budget, you know what I'm saying, we had to make this house feel like unconnected to, you know, to the rest of it, or disconnected, my bad. You know, but we would go in, we would just frame up, there's an app on this phone that we got for filmmakers. We just framed it up, and I mean, I wish I had like my laptop so I could show you, because it's so cold, you know what I'm saying, like how deep we get into it. But man, I don't think there's a such thing as a perfect shot, because it's always something that we can like try to fix, but due to time we can't. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, that makes sense. Well, I guess the most creative shot then, because they be super like, I'd be like, what made them think to like there was one shot in the movie that are in the like the short film that I'm looking at, and there's like you can see, I feel like you can see, I can't remember exactly, but like I feel like you can see the person, but there's also like maybe like something that's like blocking the view a little bit, and I'm like, what made them choose, like, you know, to have
it at the
like
end where like he came down, set the gun down, and then he grabbed the
I don't remember, like I don't remember what was
Yeah.
going on, but like I feel like it was towards the beginning though, like I don't remember what shot it was, but like there's just like something like blocking the view, like just a little bit, but like that's out of focus. Like I'm just like, how did like, you know, all these small details like come together? It's like, I don't know, that's just like super cool to me, but maybe that's just because I'm a creative too. So like, you know, like
storytelling is hard, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Man. So you've had quite the successful career since launching your brand Dream Story Films in 2020. Is there anything that you would have done differently, or any lessons that you've learned that you wish you had known earlier?
Oof. I really wish I knew like how devoted I have to be, you know, like how in something I have to be, because if I don't marry a project, like I won't be able to like put my all into this. So I wish I would have knew that going in, because I have invested my true self into like somebody else's project, and then they not doing the same thing. So that kind of hurts, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it's so much that I could say as far as like what I wish I would have known coming into this, you know what I'm saying?
But is there anything, I guess, that you would change, or you just feel like,
honestly,
now that you know, like...
No, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that would take away from where I am now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's, I mean, I feel like that's a part of like the game, and a part of the process is you learn stuff on your way, and you take that piece and you use it for next time, and like, no, definitely. Do you have any tips for aspiring photographers or videographers or filmmakers on building their portfolio and getting noticed in the industry?
So my first tip will be just start. You know what I'm saying? I know some of us try to wait till we got the perfect camera, or the best camera, or the best, you know, any type of equipment, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, just start. The second one is like, you have to be consistent with like posting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really do photography anymore or video, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I post most of like my behind the scenes, like, cause I'm directing, you know, now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta be consistent with posting your work. There's a strategic way on how to post, you know what I'm saying, as well. I think I'm on my third one. But yeah, number 3 would just be just practice every day. Like, wake up and just be obsessed with this, you know what I'm saying? To where like people think that you got a problem, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, definitely 1% better every day.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Cause like me and my homies, we got our own language now, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of breaking the rules cause COVID kind of taught us that we don't need like a big Hollywood production no more, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, I think the most important one too that you said is like just start.
Yeah.
Cause like really even like being consistent, that comes from just starting. Like, you know, and then like getting 1% better every day, like that comes from literally just like starting.
Yeah.
And I feel like even like me, like when I wanted to start this podcast, like I feel like I planned for way too long. Like, you know, like why am I not just doing it? Like, and then, you know, I started out with like 1 camera. Like, you know, like me and Kristen started out with like just 2 cameras and stuff. And then like it was like, all right, we gonna, you know, just evolve and like keep going with this. And so like that's how you gotta do it. And I mean, even with most things that people do, like it takes a certain amount of like videos to put out, or like even in podcasting, like it takes, they say on average like 100 episodes before you really get like your first brand deal, or like, you know, like, and even YouTube videos, like I think it's like 35 videos before you even, most people even reach like 500 to 1,000 subscribers, like, you know, but like if you don't post that first video, like you ain't gonna never get there.
And then like with that, like you, and if y'all started off with everything, you know, like y'all expectations would be harder, so like the growth would be a little different, you know what I'm saying?
No,
so,
definitely. And even then you can start out with everything and still not know what you're doing, like, so it's easier to practice on like, you know, starter equipment than it is on like the big stuff.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
Who are your top, what's your top 3 movies of like all time?
I'm dead. I knew you was gonna ask this question. So, you want it in order or just?
I mean, whatever.
Damn. So, number 1 would have to be Gone Girl. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that.
Yeah. With the train, right?
No, Gone Girl is with Ben Affleck. Yeah, she know. She know. It's, now you gotta go watch it. It's fire. It's on HBO Max.
I thought that was the one with the train.
Oh. And I don't even want to tell you because the movie is incredible.
Okay.
But I would say Gone Girl. My second one would have to be, don't judge me, The Notebook. The third one would probably have to be either Get Out or Juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did I think Gone Girl was the one with the train? Now I want to know. Now I got to go home and watch it, because now I'm like, what am I thinking that I didn't see? There must be some other movie where the girl's like on a train or something, and like, I thought she's trying to get away from some guy or whatever. I don't know, whatever. That don't matter. But
she trying to get away from a guy, but ain't no train involved.
Oh, maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. But I think I'm thinking of the same movie. I'm guessing I'm just remembering it wrong.
No, it's fire though. For real. Yeah.
And I definitely feel you about Juice and Get Out for sure. They said the new Air movie, the Michael Jordan movie, has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when it come out this week. Like I feel like that's gonna be fire too.
Yeah.
Because you know the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes is super rare.
Yeah.
So who's on your Mount Rushmore of like favorite artists?
Artists in general, or like music, or?
Yeah, music.
Oof. Okay. So,
and Mount Rushmore is just 4. Like there's 4 spots up there.
So we got Usher. We got Biggie. Ye. Michael Jackson.
See, I'm more of a Tupac fan, so like the Biggie one's a little hard to get with.
I can't do the whole fake thug facade. I can't.
Wow. Just because people did ballet doesn't mean they're not a gangster. That's crazy.
I am dead.
It's funny though, because I feel like, I'm glad you said Ye, because I'm glad you said Kanye, because I feel like a lot of times now, by like all the craziness, his like geniusness, I feel like got like a little bit overshadowed, and so like he done fell off of people's like, you know, top 5s or like Mount Rushmores and stuff like that. But like, dude, really a genius for real.
I mean, he said that he was going to do everything that he's doing now back in 03. You know what I'm saying? People was telling him he not gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. His documentary kind of like sparked like a different like energy in me.
Yeah.
Like it was a good and a bad thing for me, because it's like, damn, like I think it's time for me to be a little more outspoken, you know, with this gift. But then it's also like, damn, like that's gonna piss some people off because just me believing in myself, people think I'm cocky.
Nah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I wear what I do. You know what I'm saying? And people, they find some weirdness in that. You know what I'm saying? So
how you gonna get to where you going if you don't believe it? Like, you know, like
I gotta get everybody else to believe it. And if I'm not walking around in that, how they gonna believe in me? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, definitely. I feel that. And I mean, you gotta have some sort of like blind faith and like cockiness in yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Just a little bit.
No, definitely. Was there one movie that you saw that made you feel like, yo, I want to make movies, like documentaries or short films, like?
Yes, I think. Dang. Low key, You Got Served. It make me one of the.
That's
not dancing. Yeah.
That's the one that you was like, yeah, that's some heat right there. Like,
yeah, because it's like everybody was fascinated by like the dancing, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the cinematography in that. Like if you go back and watch, it's crazy.
I might have to go back and watch that one because that wasn't in my top. You know. That's funny though. But like people get inspiration from random things. Like one of the things that I feel like made me want to like help people tell their story or like, you know, people on like the come up was, have you ever seen VH1's Behind the Music? Yeah. Like those used to be, and now I'm like, I watched one back the other day and I was like, this is actually kind of trash. But like at the time though, it was like, top tier. Like it made me feel like, yo, I'm gonna make those when I get older. Like, you know, like,
no, that's fire. That's fire.
Who was your biggest inspiration growing up, or was there anybody that you felt like kind of paved the way for you? And it doesn't have to be locally, it could be, you know, on like a wider scale of like.
So now that I'm older, it's changed. But I gotta say Kanye. Yeah, I gotta say Kanye for sure. Yeah.
Man, I feel like Kanye's inspired and sparked like a lot of, well, Kanye, like there's a few people like Kanye, you got the Kanyes, the Pharrells, like, and probably like the J. Cole's and the Drakes of like really sparked something different within like, you know, a lot of people. Okay. Man, thank you so much for like, you know, agreeing to do this, and I think it was a good episode.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
In the end zone, trying to make a way to put my friends on. Took 2 years to set a foundation we could build.